Hey guys, welcome back to the ranch. Happy Labor Day to you and happy birthday to myself. As you can see by the title of this video, it's not a how-to video today, and it's not a weird-ass rant either. It's a kind of a personal insight into myself, something I felt like I wanted to put out there. Just because I want to give a little bit of insight as to, who I am, why I kind of am the way that I am, and maybe, lets you know as why I'm not always, why I don't look so Swissish or talk so Swissish or feel so Swissish in my other kind of videos. The whole thing is, I don't feel Swiss. I feel as I am an American, even though I am born a Swiss. So, since today is my birthday, I figured I'd use this opportunity and get down to this story. So, for those of you who aren't interested in this stuff, go ahead and skip it. For those of you who are, this might be a little longer video. Hope you do enjoy. Leave me your comments. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to get too many views, if any at all, but, here goes. So, as said, I was born here in Switzerland, but I wasn't raised in Switzerland, not solely at least. You see, I was from my childhood on, I was always raised partially in the US. So half of my childhood was actually spent in the US, half of it was spent over here. My first native language that I spoke was English. My second one then was German. I was raised American even when I was raised over here in Switzerland. If I think back, I don't remember any childhood songs, any childhood games from Switzerland from back in those times. I just never had that. I do remember things like, Mother Goose. I do remember things like American type songs. The thing is, I never celebrated any European holidays. So for me, Independence Day is always the 4th of July. It was never August 1st. I have no meaning for August 1st. We always celebrated Halloween. I was the only kid together with my sister who celebrated Halloween. There was no trick-or-treating back in my day when I was a kid. Makes me sound really old, I know, but people didn't know what that was. We did always make jack-o'-lanterns, put those out with the candles. People didn't really understand, but okay. They always knew we were kind of different. We always celebrated Thanksgiving. Granted, we did it on a Saturday, not on a Thursday, because it's not a holiday over here. And we also celebrated Christmas like US does, with stockings and Santa Claus. We didn't do it like the Europeans do, like the Swiss do on Christmas Eve, celebrating then there where baby Jesus basically comes, or baby Christ, to bring the gifts. No, it's always been Santa Claus. So I want to put it like this. I'm American where it counts. I'm American in here. I'm American in here. I'm not American on paper, okay? So yeah, that's my drawback. That's why I'm still stuck in Switzerland, because I'm Swiss on paper, but I'm not Swiss in here, nor am I Swiss in here. I'm far, far, far away from that, and that mindset, that feeling, the being raised that way, it presents a lot of problems. Especially because I can't go home. For me, home is not Switzerland. Switzerland is just a place I live, I work, I live here with my wife and my dog, with our cat. But it's not home. Home for me is America. Home was always America, even as a kid. I never felt at home over here when we came back, when we went to school over here. I always had issues in school. Well, what do you expect? I barely reached first grade. I could barely speak German in first grade. Kids were always envious of you. It was really hard because I'd always speak about the US so highly, and I always defended. I still defend it to this day, and it's hard. And what it means for me being an American, the way I feel it is, it's a sense of pride. You can be born into a certain nation like I am, but you cannot feel any connection to that. And then you can be brought into or raised in a certain way, in a certain culture, or get the opportunity to go there and live there and stay there and grow into that culture. And that makes then, for me, somehow, sometimes the better citizen of that country. So I was raised that way. I believe it. I celebrate all the holidays. I'm proud. When people think that I'm American, when they hear me speak English, although I gotta admit, my accent is fading fast. I've been stuck in Europe so long, speaking to non-native English speakers, even when I speak English. So you're sucking up all their mistakes that they say when they pronounce things wrong. So it's really, really bad. But when I hear from then Americans when they say, "Oh, you barely have an accent," or "We thought you were from the States," things like that, that gets me going again. That makes me feel good. But yeah, it's difficult. Let me tell you, it's difficult. But what I want to say with this video is, there, as I said before, there's two types. There's the ones that are born, and there's the ones that, let's just say, evolve into it. And as long as you're the nations that you want to be part of, for me now American, as long as you're American in here and in here, that's where it counts. Everything else, paper will take anything. You can buy in certain countries, you can buy a nationality, and then you can say, "Oh, I'm a national from that and that country," but you just bought it, so it doesn't mean anything. But if you're like me and you feel and you kind of bleed red, white, and blue. So I don't bleed red and white like the Swiss. I really bleed red, white, and blue. Then, yeah, that makes the better patriot. You gotta put it that way. I don't know, but it's hard. It's hard. It's one reason why I haven't had any kids yet, because I don't want to put my kids through this, to the same dilemma that I had to go through. Basically, my mom had a choice 33 years ago with me, 35 years ago with my sister, because my godmother lives in North Carolina, and she told her to come have the kids in the US so they would be dual citizens. My mom didn't want that because my dad couldn't take off for the birth of the child. So yeah, we didn't get that, but yet she raised us like Americans. So I'm stuck with that. Being American, being trapped in a country which isn't America, and I can't really go back to America freely, except for visiting. I'm sorry, it's not the same. It's not the same feeling going through immigration with somebody telling you enjoy your stay, or back in the old days when people used to say welcome home. Big difference. So that's why you'll always hear me kind of struggle in certain videos or when I got certain rants going on. Yeah, because the US is my home. I'm just stuck in Switzerland right now. And I've never flown a Swiss flag in my life over here. I always fly an American flag. There's always at least one flag inside wherever I live that's flying. It flies on the 4th of July. It usually flies September 11th. I don't fly it very much on any of the other days, on any of the other holidays, because it's just rather difficult to fly it, and people do tend to look at you strange and weird, and yeah, you try to not to stand out too much like a sore thumb, well, which I already kind of do, because as an American, you do tend to have the kind of a bit of an ignorance to you, and arrogance also, which just goes with being an American, which is totally okay, because you're allowed to be proud and show off your country and proud and showing off of who you are and what you are, and that's not like really a thing over here. So, but anyway, yeah, that's just, I don't know, trying to think of a way to kind of wrap this up to make sense and not too much rambling for you guys. But I want to go home, definitely. It's my goal in life to go home and not have to leave my home ever again. At this point, I don't care where in the US. I used to, when I was really small, it was upstate New York, North Carolina. I don't really remember those times that much anymore. Most part of my childhood was down in Florida. And then when I was on my own, I was in northern Illinois. So for me, the Midwest is pretty much my home. That's where I really fell in love with everything. I mean, I always loved the US, but the first time you're on your own without your parents, you just kind of bond, or at least I get the feeling you bond with whatever state you are in. That's why you'll always see me repping like the Chicago Bears hat. You'll see me repping Chicago Blackhawks merch, Chicago Cubs, because those are my teams. Illinois is my state. I love that state, and I always love going back to Chicago. I just wish I could stay there permanent. But yeah, that's why I consider myself to be an American, because I was raised that way, because I feel that way in my heart and in my mind, and for me that's enough. I know legally I'm not allowed to say that I am an American, so don't roast me down in the comments. I'm not saying legally I am an American, I'm just saying why I consider myself an American, or why I feel like I am an American. Yeah, it's difficult. It's the first time I actually kind of talk it out to anyone like that. I like to keep things like this usually private, but I don't know. If you guys start watching me more, and my intention is, to be able to grow this channel for you guys, not just to learn from the stuff that I teach you. When I'm showing how-to videos, I love teaching people new things. I love helping them do stuff, save money by doing it. But also, I want to be able to speak my mind, because freedom of speech, that's a big thing. I love the American Constitution, the Bill of Rights. I think that whole system is great. And yeah, I'll do another video coming up for kind of the reasons why I hate Switzerland so much. So if you're interested in that, it should come up probably in the next couple of days, because I got some extra time on my hand, and the videos are coming a little more fluent right now. So I really enjoy that. So I have no idea how many minutes I've already been blabbering away, and I know I'm not going to be cutting too much out of this video. So if you made it all the way to the end, I'd just like to thank you very much. I'm not going to ask you for a thumbs up or thumbs down, because even if you give it a thumbs up, it's how I feel. It's about me, so you can thumbs down all you want. I'm sorry, I don't care about it. You can thumbs up if you want, that'd be nice. You can leave me a comment. You can bitch and moan all you want. You can leave me your experience. If you have anything to say, please go ahead. You can follow me on other social medias and all that stuff. Just remember, home is where your heart is, and if your heart is stuck in another country that when you're living in, your home's always going to be there. But nevertheless, guys, have a safe and happy Labor Day, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Thanks a lot.